Welcome, brothers and sisters of the Leaf, to episode 1 of Smoke the Cigar Show. It's Monday, February the 10th, 2025. I'm Daniel Jordan, and I'm your host. Today, I want to talk about my favorite subject, which is red meat. Yes, here in the South, United States, 10 to 12 months out of the year, it's great weather for cooking outdoors. Yesterday, I decided it's 73 degrees. It's Super Bowl Sunday. I'm going to smoke some meat. Now, my favorite thing to smoke is a brisket, specifically a 16-hour brisket, but you have to be pretty special for me to spend 16 hours smoking some meat. But I smoke a brisket probably, I'd say, once a month. So almost 12 times a year. But yesterday I decided that I was going to make some ribs for Super Bowl Sunday, and they came out perfect. But we're here to talk about steak. And we're going to talk about the age-old debate of what is the best temperature for that perfect steak. You already know that medium is the best, but I'm willing to have that debate in the comments. So a few weeks ago, I was at my local cigar lounge and I ran across a cigar specifically made for carnivores. And that cigar is the Red Meat Lovers. Remember, me and eat. So I picked up a few and I brought them home and I dropped them in my humidor to humidify for a couple of weeks. I like to smoke Nicaraguan cigars at about anywhere between 65 and 68% humidification. So I put the ones that I purchased in my humidor and I brought them up to right at 68% humidification. So a little history about Red Meat Lovers. It was started in 2019 as a single 6x56 Toro Extra that was released as a collaboration between Smoke Inn, Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust, and Red Meat Lovers Club. Again, me and eat. There's a club for meat. I must find this club and I must join. So a year later, in 2020, a second size, the 6x52, was added. And again, it was sold exclusively through Smoke Inn until finally Dunbarton and Trust decided to add Red Meat Lovers as a regular production to their portfolio. And there are 4 Vitola sizes, all named after beef. There's the filet mignon, which is a 5x54 Robusto. There's the ribeye, which is this one here, which is a 6x52 Toro. There's a porterhouse, which is a 6x60 Gordo, and a T-bone, which is a 6x52 box press torpedo. Red Meat Lovers is a blend by Steve Saka, whom you probably know for many great creations like the classic Liga Privada, the number 9, my personal favorite, the T52. There's the Feral Flying Pig, Stillwell, Umbagog, Miquiera, and so many others that I can't remember just this moment, but those are just some fantastic smokes. And if you are a lover of Steve Saka's creations, all the ones that I just mentioned, you should expect to enjoy this Red Meat Lovers, which is actually the ribeye, which is the 6x52 box press. Red Meat Lovers is a Nicaraguan cigar It comes from the Nicaragua American Cigars SA factory. It's adorned with a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper. It has a Mexican San Andreas binder and all Nicaraguan fillers. Again, I mentioned there are the four vitolas. The price for these cigars, depending on the vitola that you get, is anywhere from $15 to $17 per cigar. So, upon pulling the cigar from the wrapper on yesterday, I noticed that the actual wrapper itself is very toothy, which means that it's less smooth, but that's fine. Yeah. The veins are almost non-existent. You can see the small lines for the wrapper, but that does not take away from the cigar at all. It's very firm to the touch, but again, very well humidified. Again, 68% is about where my hygrometer was when I actually pulled this out of my humidor. The bouquet on the cigar is fresh earth, very rich soil, which is indicative of Nicaraguan puros. On the dry draw, I tasted barnyard, a little hint of black pepper spice on the tongue. And when I lit this, I toasted the foot very well. And that first light, it was just great combustion. The smoke emanating from the cigar was medium at first, but as I got through the first third, just plumes of white smoke, which I truly enjoy. The draw was easy, effortless. And as I got into the first third, I got lots of pepper spice on the retrohale, which is actually just blowing smoke through your nasal passages, notes of Nicaraguan soil and hay on the palate. It started off as a medium to about full strength smoke, and the ash on it was solid. On the second third, more earth notes, a little hint of coffee bean, and I had to encourage the cigar to stay lit by blowing through it like a straw so that I didn't have to grab my lighter to relight it. It remained a medium to full, and again, just amazing smoke output. The last third of the ribeye, the black pepper spice actually intensified. It actually took center stage for me. There were some mesquite notes, although slight. I did get some mesquite from it, and that Nicaraguan soil note actually just persisted. The ash production on this was amazing. After I got it to correct itself, started to canoe a little bit in the second third, but again, with the method of blowing through it like a straw a couple of times, it auto corrected and I didn't have to relight it, and the canoeing actually stopped. So I was able to drop, 4 solid ashes, which was really good for the cigar. It didn't flake and fall into my lap. I was actually able to set it down. The final finish for the cigar was, again, notes of earth and barnyard. There was some hay, black pepper on the tongue and on the retrohale. I did, again, eventually in the last third, receive some mesquite notes. My final thought on the red meat lovers, and specifically the ribeye here, is that you have to just take your time. It's not going to allow you to puff and puff and puff. It took me just over 2 hours and 9 minutes to finish this 6 by 52 cigar. So you're going to have to take your time. If you're looking to have a smoke that's going to be, less than an hour and a half or less than an hour, I say, leave this in your humidor and let it sit until you actually have about 2.5 hours to really sit down and enjoy this stick. The appearance and construction in my journal here, I actually gave it a 4 out of 5. It was firm. The texture again is toothy, and it was very consistent to the touch. I didn't have any soft spots. For the bouquet and dry taste, the dry taste, again, just the soil, little pepper spice on the tongue. The draw was effortless. It was really good. The smoking action, the combustion, I really liked the way that this cigar lit. The smoke on it was medium initially on the light, but as I got through the first third, it's just plumes of smoke. This smokes like a chimney. It produces a lot of smoke. The final finish, which is the flavor and sensation, I gave a 3.5 out of 5. And the reason for that is that although the flavors were very consistent from start to finish, nothing really changed for me. I got the soil, the earth, the hay, the pepper spice at the very beginning, and that kind of held or remained throughout the actual smoke itself. I did receive some coffee bean towards the second third of the cigar, but it was just a hint, and mesquite as well in the last third. So the cigar to value, I gave a 3 out of 5. And a 3 out of 5, although that's above average at $17 a stick for this, my expectation was a little bit more for sticks of this actual price. I was expecting flavor profiles to change a little bit more for me and not really have to work so hard to keep it lit. I was just expecting a little bit more. So cigar to value, I gave a 3 out of 5 for the Red Meat Lovers Ribeye. The overall experience for me was 3.6 out of 5. Again, I gave you the reasons why: appearance, the bouquet, and the smoking action, the final finish, and the actual cigar to value. All those combined for me came out to be 3.6 out of 5, which is again well above average. Will I smoke this again? Absolutely. I'm actually going to smoke this one. I think that this cigar was actually made to be smoked after a steak meal. So I'm going to do just that. The next time that I have a steak, which will be this week, I'm going to finish the steak and I'm going to immediately reach into my humidor and I'm going to grab this Red Meat Lovers Ribeye and I'm going to have this cigar and I'm going to do another review on this particular cigar. And I'll leave in the comments some of my notes from my second run with the Red Meat Lovers Ribeye. If you are a full body cigar fan, you're going to enjoy this Red Meat Lovers. If you are a Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust or a Steve Saka fan, if you love the Mi Quiera or the Sin Compromiso, you should enjoy this Red Meat Lovers Ribeye. If you are a retro hell enthusiast, you like that pepper spice on the retro hell, this cigar shines with that, right? So you should enjoy this cigar. If you are a mild cigar smoker, this isn't the cigar for you. If you like creamy profiles or there's no notes of vanilla or cedar, this would not be the cigar for you. So I will be smoking this again. And again, I will leave my brief notes in the comments if you want to return and see maybe in a week or so what I actually had to say after I had my ribeye. I'm going to probably have a ribeye. What rating did you give the Red Meat Lovers cigars, whether you had the filet mignon or the porterhouse or the ribeye or the T-bone? Let me know in the comments. What rating did you give it? And also, do you journal? Do you have a notebook where you actually capture the notes for your smoking? Here I've given my ratings. I list out the cigar and the date, and I also put down my flavor profiles, and I capture a few notes, which helps me to remember the experience. And after it's all said and done, I'll take this band and I'll fix it to my notes page here so that I can, at any given time, look back and remember what type of cigar or how was the actual smoking experience. So let me know. Do you journal? Do you have a journal? Do you have a notebook where you actually keep notes on your smoking experience? So thank you for joining me today on this review of the Red Meat Lovers 6 by 52 ribeye. Until next time, cheers.